and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about sort of exams and stress. I tweeted out a couple of days ago being like, I want to make a video, but I don't have much time. What should I do? So Jess tweeted me to talk about how to deal with exams and stress when you have anxiety and or other mental illnesses. That's what we're going to talk about today. For many of you, including myself, it is currently like exam season. So I've been a little bit MIA because of that very reason. So I'm sure that feeling is what everyone is feeling right now. It's great. So yeah, obviously my solution was to, sit down and make a video and talk about it instead of like just getting on with my work. And priorities, great. We'll talk about that. So I think we're just gonna jump in there. And we're gonna go with, stress. I feel like for all of us, probably the biggest thing that stresses us out is stress. Fantastic wording from me today, A star. You can tell I've been writing can you see I'm writing an essay? I can't even talk. That's like the point I'm at now. Only written communication that's happening. Verbal, what's that? Because I am naturally quite a stressy human being when it's anything, I recently learned I'm a type A personality. So like anything school or uni or that I'm gonna get a mark on, I'm suddenly like, I know a lot about stress. That's something I know a lot about. The first thing I can tell you about stress is to adjust your expectations in terms of you should learn to deal with and manage your stress rather than trying to not be stressed. The people who tell you that they are calm are either liars, psychopaths, or are going to fail. So if somebody tells you, oh, I'm so calm, sorry, I'm so calm, it's exam season, it's fine, I'm so chill. It's so unrealistic. You just don't need to, don't worry about it, don't stress about it. Stress to an extent can be a good thing, it can kick you into gear, it can be something that motivates you. How do you get not stressed about something? You deal with it. How am I gonna stop stressing about my essays? I write them. That is the only reason and the only way I'm gonna stop stressing about it. So it's great in terms of needing a boost to get your shit together. However though, what really isn't good is chronic stress. If you're stressed more than just around exam seasons and the whole year round, then maybe you have something that you want to look into because chronic stress is incredibly bad for your health. A little bit of stress when you need it, it's good. Lots of stress all the time, bad. Also during Christmas when we're getting for New Year exams and stuff, when this meme was doing its rounds? The headache one. Yeah, I thought it was quite funny, but then I realized, the stress one, that and then the down here, I have that every single, I literally got it right now, I can feel it in my head. Every single time it's around an exam, I do get that, and it took me can't believe it took me almost 20 years to notice that about myself. I was like, this is normal, my head hurts. It's a headache. Why am I so dumb? But yeah. So I know I said I've got a type A personality. I'm also a naturally lazy person. So you can see those things, they don't work together. That for me causes massive stress as well. Because then part of my body's and the other part is oh, it's fine. We'll do it later. That's tomorrow Emma's problem. Which obviously would cause less stress if I was naturally inclined to get my shit together. I've had to work very hard to get myself into a place where will actually get on it and do things, because I'll be really happy to stress and worry about it, but whether I actually deal with whatever thing is causing my stress, that's a bit harder. But that means I have learnt things. I would like to say I'm an incredibly efficient human being. You learn how to be very efficient, how to multitask. My mum says multitasking doesn't exist. It does. Mummy, trust me, it does. I've got to hear. And efficiency is so important, which means I get so incredibly frustrated when someone's doing something inefficiently. It drives me insane. I'm no, do it this way. This is the easier, faster way to do it. Please just do it inefficiently. It drives me nuts. It's that Bill Gates quote, the one that's find the laziest person to do the hardest job because they'll find an easy way to do it. That one resonated with me. I was oh shit, that's what I do. Command F is your best friend. You get very good at trying to make your life easy for yourself. Here's a good tip, by the way, if you're trying to write up quotes and stuff, make sure you still have the PDF somewhere to copy and paste it. Or if you've got a book, go to, it's called the Gutenberg project, I'll have it down here, and they have fully digitized text, so then you can just search it, copy and paste, and honestly it saves you so much time, because copying up quotes is the bane of my goddamn life. Memes are weirdly helpful this time, because it's like you have the acknowledgement that it's more than just you going through this. Like, you realize it's a collective experience. Like, it's the only way these things are funny, you know? If you know other people are feeling your pain, which I mean always does provide a nice giggle, but then also you're probably on social media and you probably shouldn't be on social media, so get off social media. I mean, watch this video and then go off social media. And like, honestly, my life at the moment is the embodiment of them. Seriously. Also, my question is, how long did that take editing, Emma? It took editing, Emma, far too long. Also, this meme, I have the opposite of this problem. Like, I need to write 4,000 words for this essay I'm writing. I have 7,000. When I think of my ideas, I like type and think. Like, that's how so I know I've written a lot of stuff twice, but 7,000 words? I haven't actually finished like started writing my essay technically, because it's quotes and shit. Fucking hell. Like, I just can't, when people are like, oh, how to fake a word count. I can't do it. I don't know. The next thing I would say is schedule, but be careful with this because scheduling can only help you so much. You can schedule to do something, but you'll find that some things take longer than others and some things you don't need as much time on. So what you might be more inclined to do is then like stress about it because you gave yourself a time slot and you still haven't finished it. And then if you finish something else with time left, you might, you know, relax in that time instead of like using it for the other thing to try and balance it out. So just be wary of it, because I know a lot of people will do, you know, schedules for GCSEs and stuff, and while that's all well and good, you're actually losing time pretending to be organised when you're not going to stick to a revision schedule. Because I know my little brother's revising for his GCSEs now, but I'm not entirely sure to what extent he's stuck to it. So don't get too caught up in it because you don't know how useful that's actually going to be to you. And as I was saying with the essay I'm writing at the moment, like, it is the more delicate one out of the two in terms of like, it deals a lot with racial issues, class issues, but then in the Caribbean, it's a Caribbean drama essay, like, so I've never been to the Caribbean, like I've never experienced any of their culture, so it's kind of like, and also I'm incredibly white, so writing about these kind of things, I'm like, oh my god, am I going to be racist? So it's kind of like doing my research and making sure that I'm not writing something massively racist and colonialist, and I'm just like, not that that would happen, but I'm worried about it happening by accident. I hope you don't infer the wrong thing from what I'm trying to say, okay? The other essay is on libraries, so you can see why I'm like, which needs more attention? There's one essay I did last time round, like I spent 3 weeks on it, I was so pleased with it, but then I wrote a different essay. I wrote that one in a week. The mark difference between the two was a mark. A mark. Just the one. With those 2 extra weeks worth that 1 mark? I mean, maybe, but it's like, just don't worry too much about it. Like, don't under or overestimate. Don't do either of those two things. Because if you're inclined to stress and be anxious, you will also underestimate yourself. Like, I am at the moment having a massive issue being like, I've done no work. But I'm like, I have 7,000 words. That's too much work. If your anxiety and stress are inclined to peak around these things, especially if maybe like me, you have a very deep-rooted fear of failure, I don't know where I was going with that, but now you know. This is what makes me the most, besides my perfectionism when it comes to YouTube and films, but this is what really gets me the most. So I'm assuming I've done nothing, but I've done loads, but then it's still not finished because I don't think it's overachieving, it's just, I don't know what it is, but it's a problem. That wasn't helpful advice, I'm probably just consoling all of you, I'm not helping. I love what I do. Also, if you're incredibly bad at sidetracking, procrastinating from your phone and stuff, you might want to delete the copper apps. What I've done is I've stuck the apps I procrastinate most with in a separate folder, so when I have to feel extra guilt to swipe across once more, go into the folder as well, which is called Emma No. Try to not spend time on it. Also, if you go onto your settings and go to your battery, if you have an iPhone, you can see how much time you've spent on apps. So when it's like in 24 hours or like a week, and if you know, it's when it says you've spent an hour or 2 or 3 on like Twitter or YouTube or Instagram, it's kind of like, oh shit. Imagine all the work you could have done in that time. Prioritize. It'll really help your state of mind. Work with your exam timetable to try and prioritize as like what you actually need to do, and do yourself a favor. Don't stress about things before you need to stress about it. Like, don't go stressing about B when you haven't even finished stressing about A yet, you know? Like, don't stress about your exam when you haven't even handed in your essays, because you know you need to do A first. Also, like, I'm very, very smug about this. I've never ever handed in an essay late. Ever. I think in second years of like sixth form, I don't think I actually handed anything in late, which is remarkable. And also at uni now, the way my uni does it, I really actually quite enjoy, is that if you hand your essay in even a second late, your mark gets capped at 40. 40. Doesn't matter how good your essay is, it gets capped at 40, and that is terrifying to me, which means there's a wonderful load of pressure on my shoulders right now. I'm terrified of not handing in something on time, and it walks me to my very core. No, I've never handed anything in late, so that's going well. Not that I haven't submitted things 2 minutes before we've been due in, but I've still submitted it, so it's fine. You know, even if I am staying up till 4 AM and waking up at 6 AM to get it done, it still gets done. At what cost of my mental health? Yeah, maybe try and organise yourself so that you don't have to end up in that situation, because then that can fuck over your mental health. But then you can probably sleep for a couple of days after, so. This is something you'll only be able to do with experience, but like, have a system. I might do a video on like how I write essays, because I have a system, but then I can like cross things off on my like list of like, first do this, then do that, and like work my way through so I can see my own progress. So like at the moment, the bit I always know takes the longest is finding quotes, finding secondary reading, doing all of it, putting all my quotes in, having all my like primary ideas. What I'm gonna do the moment I finish filming this video is edit it, is clean this whiteboard behind me. As you can see, I have remembered the milk, Mum. I did remember. We also now have like 12 empty milk bottles, so I don't really know what to do with those. Emma sidetracks. You might have noticed that in some videos. I go off on tangents horrendously. I don't need them in my essays, because I proofread them. Proofread your fucking essays! Oh my god! I've submitted essays without proofreading them before. Don't fucking do that! Don't ever do that! I know people do that. Don't do that! If you can, have an adult look at them, says the 20-year-old who prides herself on pretending she's a functioning adult. Have somebody look over them. I'll basically always have my mum look at it, be like, Mummy, have I written something completely stupid? Because sometimes you just make errors in terms of like grammar, or maybe you didn't put a full stop in, which makes your sentence horrendously long, or just, you may have just made not even like a mistake in your essay, just in the format. You should know by now with your lecturers and stuff, they love when you get the formatting right. Check your referencing. People can't reference, and this really stresses me out. Know your referencing type, please. Also, if you technically take 2 courses, like I took Comp Lit and I took Film, now I just do Comp Lit, but the 2 departments have different styles of referencing. Check. For God's sake, check. This is a massive tangent that's kind of only relevant to some of you. It'll become relevant to most of you if it's not relevant yet. Just revisit this video when you've gone to uni. It's about like having anxiety and having to deal with something which then, you know, gives any sane person massive stress and anxiety. It makes shit worse. Like, it just makes stuff so much worse, and it makes it seem so much worse. I think a problem for me I've always had is that like, I'm so used to having that feeling anxiety puts in you, that sense of urgency and panic, that like when I actually maybe need a bit of urgency and panic, I'm used to it. I'm like, oh, I feel this all the time, it's fine. Like, it doesn't almost do anything for me. I'm like, oh, I really need to do this. I'm like, oh, it's normal. It's fine. It almost works against me, which is really annoying. I don't know how many of you are gonna feel that too. If it just makes it worse, I'm really sorry. Where have my notes gone? Where have my notes gone? Did I delete it? No? Uh-oh. Oh, I did delete it! Emma! It's fine, I've got it. It's a difficult one because I feel like, you know, this time of year is so stressful. I don't think there's any kind of like tips or quick fixes kind of I can recommend or give you for that kind of thing. Oh, how do I phrase this? So I had a lot of panic attacks. I started getting them after my first GCSE mocks. They were horrendous, like they were the worst. It's the kind of thing you would never wish on anyone, but I've only ever had them in the context of school. I don't think I've really ever had a panic attack unless it's been something like big emotional in my life. I don't get panic attacks in any other situations. So if you're wondering about how the school system is doing in the UK, just great. So just, I don't know, validate your feelings. If you're stressed about it, but it is okay to be stressed about, because especially if you care, like I care an awful lot about my marks. I always have done. And it hasn't always gone the best for me, which then, you know, leaves me feeling horrendous. Which is, I think, also a reason I'm trying to work so much harder at uni, because like I want to validate the fact that I'm not stupid. That would be great. And like I've said in videos, your GCSEs, like, they're traumatic. I'm kind of still scarred for them because it's the first time you've ever had to deal with this. You've never had to deal with this level of stress before. You've never had to deal with this level of anxiety before. You know, because dealing with it, I think, comes a lot with maturity. So stick it out. I really haven't got any useful advice for you in terms of like, if you already have anxiety, because I think about like your wider healing process and like your wider like managing process, rather than just things you can do right here, right now for your exams. But maybe bear in mind that like generally schools and universities especially, are incredibly good at dealing with their students' mental health. Like I'm pretty sure schools have to have a counsellor, so there's always going to be somebody you can see, somebody you can talk to. And I mean with your teachers and stuff, like as well as having an obligation to teach you, I'm pretty sure they will care about your well-being. So, you know, if it's something you're struggling with, ask for help, because in my experience people are so good with that, and they never ever react how you think they will. I think people are always a lot more willing to help and just grateful that you've said something so they can understand what you're going through and how you're feeling. I guess the last thing is, guys, don't worry. Just don't. I know it's so futile to say, isn't it? Be like, don't worry, you'll be fine. But don't worry, you will be fine. Like, there is literally no reason that you cannot, you know, get through your exams, do well. Like, there's no reason why you're not capable of doing that. If there is, though, a reason that you're not capable of doing that, mitigating circumstances exist for a reason. I have nothing else to say. Got a lot more work to go do. However, if you guys would like to continue this discussion, there is a comment section down there. I would of course love your attention. If there's anything ever concerning like mental health and stuff, I moderate the comments, so it's a safe space. I got you covered. But yeah, my last thing I would like to say is I make videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. At the moment Tuesdays because I have no time. But yeah, like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you guys very soon. Also, stop procrastinating. You don't think I see you on your phone or your screen? Just close the tab, close the app, and go back to what you were supposed to be doing. Like me, and went back to my essays. What exams? Yeah, okay, bye. Have someone else read it. Like, my mum is an academic, I let her. Am I allowed to say this? Will I get in trouble?